Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Sebastian Jimenez, and I am so excited today to share with you the importance of identifying the red flags of the MLM industry. Now, I am in the MLM industry, and what I have found is that there's been a lot of people who have been hurt by the industry. I mean, if you take a look on Facebook, people are always jumping from company to company. They're spending more money to get into these new companies. They're not making any money, and the same process continues over and over again, and ultimately gives our industry a bad name. So the purpose of this training is to absolutely avoid the red flags of the industry so that you can choose the best business and pay plan for you to make sure that you don't become a part of the 97% failure rate, but instead have the opportunity to join the 3% who do make this industry their home, their career, and their profession. So let's get started. In the top right corner, you'll see a quote there by my mentor, who is arguably considered the best compensation plan expert on the planet. Robert Kiyosaki would say that if you don't know how to read a financial business statement as a traditional business owner, then your business is in trouble. Well, Ramin would argue that if you don't know how to read your pay plan in your MLM business, you are in some serious trouble. This training is not going to be on how to recruit and, how to do all these things that everyone is doing, but they're still getting no results. So what this training is actually designed to do is to make sure that you are going to learn how to identify industry red flags so you can avoid wasting your time and your money. Secondly, you're going to learn the 3 vital statistics. There are statistics that will determine if a company is successful or destined for failure. You're going to learn those statistics. And last but not least, you will now know why 97% of people fail and why you don't have to be one of them. Guys, sometimes it actually isn't even the person's fault. You're going to learn why here. So let's get to it. The first question I want you to ask yourself, if you're already in a home-based business, or if you're thinking of entering the home-based business, is that do you want to work harder or smarter? What I mean by that is if you're already in the industry, ask yourself, does my compensation plan have ranks? Most people think ranks are designed for motivation and recognition when actually it's the total opposite. In fact, ranks are strategically placed by companies to restrict the compensation plans and to have members re-qualify every single month to maximize their commissions. The reason why most companies have ranks is because most companies have low profit margin services or product lines, so they need a way to control essentially where the volume is going to go. It actually gives the company full control of where they can put the funds to make sure that they don't go bankrupt. How they control these funds and allocate them is by putting ranks into pay plans. Meaning, if you get to the top of your pay plan, which is a Super NATO Master Commander Distributor Superman rank, that's when you're going to make the most money. So it's a variety of ranks, levels, and restrictions to really make your job increasingly difficult to make the money you actually want to make. Maybe this will help you understand my first point. So a question you should ask yourself is, why would I work a pay plan filled with restrictions and levels when there's opportunity out there to get paid down to infinity on day one? Okay, so levels. What exactly am I talking about levels here? Well, in your pay plan, and virtually every single one I've seen ranks and levels, and if there is a cutoff on pay levels, you will, not you probably will, you will find yourself with some or most of your volume outside your pay level, which you will never get paid on. Now, guys, I know this is a lot of new stuff for you, but let's look at the visual. Let's say that's you at the top there, and you get paid on level 1 and level 2. So those people on level 1 and level 2 you're getting paid on, right? Well, if you're only getting paid to a certain level, what happens to the levels where you're not getting paid on? Let's look at level 7. So level 1 and 2, you're getting paid a nice percentage on there. But in level 7, you could actually be missing out on all the volume generated in those levels. And as you know, if you're serious about building your organization, more and more people are going to go to the bottom levels where you're not getting paid out on. And if you are getting paid out on that, then they're going to shrink your percentage. So let's look at level 2. Let's say you get paid 8% or 5% or whatever percent on level 2. Well, on level 7, you're going to get paid half a percentage, right? So companies do this because they're trying to restrict the flow of funds, because most oftentimes they have very low products or very low profit margins in their product or service line. The third, and this is something that you'll see time and time again, is the great debate between bonuses and commissions. I'm going to put it super, super simple. Bonuses essentially are like working a sales job. It's something you got to qualify for and get paid once for. It's like a sales job. Commissions are different. This is something that your team generates and you get paid continually if you generate the volume. Bonuses must be qualified and re-qualified for over and over again, whereas commissionable volume is permanent and you do not need to re-qualify. Bonuses most often are not to infinity, and there's a variety of different bonuses, but all you need to understand here is that if you're in a bonus-filled plan, the concept of residual income is never really going to be there for you, because all these bonuses are designed for you to do the work, re-qualify, and you get paid the bonus once. Would you rather do something and get paid for it once, or do something once and get paid for it over and over again? If you look at your pay plan and there's 20 ways to earn money and 19 of them are bonuses, then you are in serious trouble if you're looking to make lifelong residual income. The fourth one, this one actually really bothers me. So this is exactly like you see in that visual, money going down the toilet. If you are in a company or have been in a company where they flush your volume, they are actually taking away revenue you generated. So imagine this, you do all the work, and if you don't, hit your monthly goals or your yearly goals, they flush the volume, take it away from you. Or even worse, after you reach a certain payout, they flush the volume you didn't capitalize on. Or other things I've seen is that, they don't even allow you to carry that volume over. So let's say you generate volume this month and you want to maximize on it next month. They actually won't allow you to carry any of it over, meaning it's gone. The work you did is gone and you can't get it back. And luckily in my company, we have an individual who, he got started in 2005. However, he didn't do anything until 2008. Luckily, our company does not flush volume, so when he was ready to build, he had $8 million of revenue and volume waiting for him. Whereas in these other companies, it would have put him back at zero. Oh, another debate. I mean, don't we see all these people nowadays getting, these Lexuses and BMWs? And I mean, it looks good, right? But the reality is that there are thousands of lawsuits from distributors suing the company for their car programs. Most often, the name of the lease isn't even the company, it's yours. So, as you saw from above, what happens if you don't hit your rank or your qualifications or your volume flushes and, all these different things that virtually every pay plan I've seen has? Now you're stuck with this car that you can't afford, and it ends up going on Lease Buster. So, guys, the quicker you get your car is actually not always the best thing, because as we know, people jump from company to company because they can't make money in these companies, because as you've seen above, there's just so many restrictions there in all these pay plans. Okay, great. So in this industry, the legal amount of legs you can build is 2. So why would anyone think that building 10 legs is easier than 5? Or, it's easier to build 3 legs than 2. It's actually the opposite. Building 5 legs is easier than building 10. Building 3 legs is easier than building 5. And building 2 legs is easier than building 3 legs. Longevity and retention is in depth. So if you're going to do this business or you're going to be involved in this industry for a long time, the deeper you build your organization, the stronger it is. What I mean by that is, what happens if someone joined for a while and has no people in their team? What happens? They'll usually quit, right? So to give an example of what this looks like, if you had 10 people join you and you had to build 10 legs, you'd probably put a person on each leg. Person 1, leg 1, person 2, leg 2, all the way to 10. Now, all these people are going to be left on these legs with nobody under them. They're going to get unmotivated and quit. Whereas if you only had to build 2 legs and you sponsored 10, you could put 5 people on each leg, and they're benefiting from the volume here, and they're going to be motivated and want to build your business. Most people have people stranded on legs, and they get unmotivated and quit. If you have to build more than 2 legs in your industry, and it does not pay down to infinity, you are in serious trouble. Brings me to my second point. Does your compensation plan pay you out on volume for all your legs? What we found, especially in binaries, is that one leg will always be stronger than the other. And, most people, especially if you're in one of these pay plans, you find yourself chasing the larger leg to really get paid what the full volume should be. However, one leg grows faster than the other, they can't catch up, there's too many ranks, restrictions, qualifications, and they never get paid out the amount they should have. But that brings me to my next point. Are you getting paid out variably in your pay plan? Is it a 50-50 split? Is it a 1/3, 2/3 split only? Why would you restrict yourself to these combinations when there's a pay plan out there that will pay you 50-50, 1/3, 2/3, or 2/3, 1/3? Those are all the possible combinations, and we'll pay you out on all the possible combinations instead of restricting them from you. Good binaries pay on both legs and to infinity. So now that you've learned about some things in pay plans that you may have never heard before or seen, you'll have the information you need to go back and look at your pay plan. Or if you're thinking about getting started in this industry, you'll take a look at people's pay plans and know that you need to run the other way if you see ranks, levels, volume flushing, restrictions, a compensation plan that doesn't pay to infinity. But, this slide here is the most important of all, in my opinion. And these are the 3 most vital statistics to your success in MLM network marketing. The first stat is earning per distributor. So if you look at the DSA averages in the health and wellness sector, service sector, the DSA average is up to $1. In telecom, it's even worse. What this means is that each person in your team pays you $1. So for you to go out and make $1 million, you would need a huge organization. Or if you need to make $10,000 a month, you would need like 10,000 people to make that income. Now, let's say that someone does do that. The problem why most people can't is because of their reorder and retention. By the time they have a chance to make, or by the time they even have a team of 100 or 1,000 or whatever it is, most people leave, they get off their auto ship, or they quit and they go to the latest company that has the greatest shake, aloe vera. We see this all the time, guys. If you have a consumable product, what is stopping someone from copying it, adding more aloe vera to it, reducing the price? It's highly, highly competitive, right? So, the statistics say that there's over 90 million people in this industry. And 90% plus of those 90 million are in health and wellness. So as soon as you enter health and wellness or another service like telecom, you're now competing with over 81 million other people. Why would you compete with 81 million other people when you don't have to compete with any of them at all? Or why would you compete with all those people and have a low retention when you could have people actually earning money and people actually staying in your company? So guys, with this being said, the mission really here is to restore the industry's name and to really shed some light on what is holding people back. Often at times, they've just joined really difficult pay plans, making it virtually impossible for someone to hit the financial home run. So what we have created For people in the industry who have not made the money they want or have not made any money at all, is actually an opportunity to receive up to $1,000 credit. That's right. You could have joined another